Hi there. In today's video, I want to share with you the topic of grounding and what I personally do when it comes to grounding my energy and releasing myself from stress, anxiety, and worry. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sarah Wayne. I'm an intuitive healer and a spiritual guide for people who are looking to find themselves again, get in touch with who they authentically are so that they can share their gifts in the world and have an impact. And so I had somebody reach out to me and ask me about my practices for grounding and how I would uh, recommend what to do to stay grounded. And then I'm going to share with you a bonus at the end that someone else asked me, which was grounding for connecting to spirit, connecting to someone else, and how to do that properly. So this is kind of a two-part video. And the way I want to deliver this is not to give you all of the details, but just to give you an overall sense of the different ways that I ground. And then you can go research the different elements of what that looks like if you want to dig deeper into these areas that I talk about. So I'm just going to go through my list of things that I find to be helpful in grounding, share a few of my little favorites and some tips around that, and then get into connecting to spirit or connecting to someone other than yourself with grounding. So one of the first and foremost effective ways to do this is just earthing. And earthing is also called grounding. And essentially what that means is getting your bare feet on the earth. Simple as that. And doing so for about 10 to 20 minutes. So you don't want to do just for a couple minutes. I would say at least be sitting and having your feet on the ground or walking around on the ground for a good 10 to 20 minutes. And this actually has some very measurable physiological effects on your immune system, on your nervous system. There's a great documentary actually called the Earthing documentary. You can go look that up, and that is a wonderful gateway into understanding how this scientifically works with earthing, something we've been doing for the beginning of time, and we've really, as a modern society, gotten away from. Very important for our health. That's one of my most favorite instant ways to release stress and anxiety. But sometimes that's not always possible to go get outside and put your feet in the dirt. And so when that's not, I like to do an energetic practice. And that energetic practice is simply closing my eyes, focusing on my breath, getting my breath into a nice steady rhythm, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and then imagining my spine extending past the chair I'm sitting in, down into the bottom of the earth, into the center of the earth, and connecting there for a while and just feeling myself in that space and letting it release. Sometimes I'll say release in my mind. Sometimes I'll ask for that energy to come up through me. I do have a practice that I teach my clients specifically for being more present with yourself, where grounding is a big part of that. And using that energetic practice creates instant feedback results. So other ways that I like to support grounding and feeling calm and present in my body is through scents, colors, crystals, stones. These all have energetic properties, and so you kind of have to find what works for you and what you feel drawn to. I know for me, certain scents help me feel a little bit more calm and subdued, like cedar or frankincense. I do love lavender as well, that just kind of whatever scent. There's some that are tied to more grounding elements, but just a scent in general can help you come more into your body. I want to share this tool or this flower essence that I love to use. It's called Grounding Green. I don't know if you can see that there, but it is by Flower Essence Services in Nevada City. They make some great essential oils and flower essences, and you just spray this around yourself in your mouth, and it just has a really nice effect. And I use this sometimes before client sessions or just when I'm feeling I need a little extra grounding. Also, I do want to mention about earthing, and there's another element of earthing that I haven't personally done much. I've done a little bit. I don't own this product, but I've heard great things about it, is an earthing mat. So you can actually buy a mat that plugs into the outlet, and it creates a grounding effect in your body. I've actually been looking into getting one of these for when I'm at the computer, so you can put your feet on the ground on one of these mats, and it will actually create a more grounded circuit for yourself, because being in front of computers and electronics can really uproot your grounding and your ability to feel uh, healthy in your body over time. So, for many reasons. Other things I love to use are foods. For me, my favorite foods to feel grounded are anything that grows under the ground: beets, carrots, turnips. I love beets. That actually I find really satisfies my need for something very satiating. So looking at foods like that, even foods with darker colors that are red and orange, deep, deep purple, cabbage. So those are foods that I would look at to incorporate more into your diet. Some other things too with the energetic practices. So I mentioned the grounding cord, but there's also just creating a circle or a bubble of light around yourself. And you can just be as simple as using white light. Sometimes I like to use colors, whether it's red, pink, orange, blue. The lighter colors are less grounding. Red and orange are definitely more grounding because we want to associate with that. And browns, like earthing energy. Red is considered the color of the root chakra, orange, the sacral. Those are more the grounding energies in your body, right? So play with that. Play with how that feels to surround yourself in light, and do this with your eyes closed. You can do it with your eyes open, but it's so much more effective when you close your eyes and give yourself the space to just really imagine being in that energy. And then one of my other real favorites around this is frequency and sounds. So I am very sensitive to sounds, and I find that just a little nuance of changing the sounds or playing a frequency in the background or putting headphones on with solfeggio frequencies, specifically 256 hertz, that will really have an immediate effect on my body and how I'm feeling and how I'm able to settle in and relax. So I encourage you to look at that. There's a great station on YouTube called Spry Fuel. I'll put a link to that. It's SPRYFUEL. I found that their frequencies really have an immediate effect on me, more than some of the other channels out there that put out sounds. I also have an app on my phone called Beatfulness. I don't know if it's on Android, but it is on iPhone. Beatfulness, BEATFULLNESS. And that app is incredible with all sorts of different frequencies and sounds for different things, and grounding obviously being one of them. So that's my laundry list of things that I love and do. I do want to actually tap into one more thing with the stones and crystals. I think that you can go look that up. You can go research ground stones for grounding. Things like shungite are great. Tourmaline, jaspers. These are darker colored stones that are very helpful. Labradite, like a dark green labradite, those are helpful also. So that's essentially the things that I personally do. There may be other things I'm missing for now, but I think that's enough to kind of set you off on exploring for you what helps you feel more grounded. Now, I do want to also talk about grounding to connect to someone. So I don't consider myself like a medium channel. There are people who do that far better than I do, and I would definitely refer you to them because that's really their wheelhouse. I do it more spontaneous. It's more something that just comes through for me in moments when I'm working with people. But for myself, when I personally want to connect, like to my father who's passed, my stepfather who's passed, different people in my life, or just when I want to connect to my daughter or someone, because she doesn't speak in the same way that you and I converse. And so sometimes just connecting in this grounded, heartfelt way actually helps build communication. So I'm going to specifically lay this out for connecting to spirit, connecting to someone maybe who has passed. And these are some things that I would consider very important when you're doing this. So one is setting an intention that you are doing this for the best and highest good, and you are coming from a place of peace and wanting to experience something positive from this. So there's not a it's not out of jest, it's not out of making fun of, it's not out of wanting to manipulate things for the benefit of something that's not helpful for people. Like, I can get into all that, but just really have an intention that I just want to connect to this person and this feels really good to connect, okay? And then part of the intention is surrounding yourself in light, calling on divine light, calling on your angel team, your spirit guides, really making this a very high vibrational space. Sometimes I will just say, only love can be here now. Only the frequency of love can be here now, and I'll surround myself in white light. Then the second way, and there may be other ways that people do this, this is just the way I have found to be very immediate and effective. And that is to go into your heart area, imagine a white light cord extending out from your heart to this person, even if this person has passed, extending to their heart, and allowing for that connection to build, allowing for that connection to flow. And from there, ask the question, ask for the message. You want to ask, you want to open up the channel, you need to initiate. And so you can take on that information or interpret that information through writing, through recording and speaking. Sometimes people just start speaking the message that's coming through. There's some tools people use like pendulums or cards, divinity tools, things like that, that might help and assist more. I definitely recommend you record at least by writing out what you're getting as a message, because it is, the reason for it is to reflect on it and to get the message and to understand the gift from that experience. So really also come from a place of patience, respect. If you don't get something or you're not getting clear messages, just let it go and come back again, try later. Sometimes if you are in a state of grief still for this person being gone or out of your life, that grief will actually block the connection. When you're in a lower space emotionally, you're still healing, you're still feeling a lot of loss around it, it can be more difficult to connect. And so sometimes working with someone who can connect more easily for you can be helpful to deliver messages. So that is my my overall, like, how I would recommend grounding and connecting to spirit, and doing so in a way that is positive and nourishing for you. So I hope this has been helpful and supportive. Let me know if you have questions. Let me know what you are going to do and what you've decided to take away from this video. And if you have your own practices and what works for you, I'd love to know that as well. All right, so signing off for today, and until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful day.